Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well and you had a good weekend. Now I spoke to you a little bit about this last week, guys, but I thought I'd put up a video to explain it a bit today, just in case you're not sure. So as part of Leaving Cert history, you have to do what's called a research topic or an RSR. It's worth 20% of your Leaving Cert score, guys, so you'll have to write up a booklet next year, so about January, February next year, you'll write up into a booklet. It's handed up before your Leaving Cert exam, and you won't see it again, but it's 20% of your mark, and it's if you pick a good topic, it's a relatively easy 20% of the marks to get, guys. It's completely open to you as to what topic you pick. You will have to do a good bit of reading and research on this, guys, so it is really, really important that you pick a topic you like, that you have a passion in, that you have an interest in, that you'll enjoy revising. It's completely up to you what you pick. There is only one cutoff, is in that it can't be any more recent than 1992. Now that's it. That's the cutoff year of our course for all our history courses. It's a strange year, I know. You can go back as far as you want, but you can't do any more recent than 1992. So you can't do, for example, I don't know, if you want to do September the 11th attacks, you can't do that. It's outside of the year, so it has to be further back than 1992. So we'll go through some of the tips here, guys, and I'll talk you through it a little bit. I'm going to ask you tomorrow for what you think you're going to pick anyway, guys, or if you're sure what you're going to pick. Send me an email. I know some of you already have, but do send me an email if you know the area you want to go down, but you're not sure about the topic you want to pick. I'll help you out, guys, in anything in picking a topic. So first, pick something that you find interesting and that an examiner might also find interesting. So you're going to have to write out a booklet on this next year, guys, and the examiner, the person that's correcting it as part of your Leaving Cert, he'll be correcting it next to your Leaving Cert paper. He'll be correcting it along with everyone else in the class, so all the people that are in our class, and probably 300 others. You want to make yours stand out, so you want to make yours interesting, a topic that might make them sit up and enjoy reading about it. So make it interesting is the first point. Make it manageable, so it has to be something that you can get information on relatively easy. You need to pick something that's historically significant if you look at the third point. While people may disagree on what is historically significant, remember your choice of topic has to be approved by your history teacher as well as you wanting to do it. So it has to, and you have to argue this point why you think it's important. Now, most of what you will pick anyway will be fine, so don't worry about that. Next point is really, really important. Don't make study too broad. You don't want to pick a topic too broad. You can't do World War II. There's gigantic books written about this. You'll have to write an essay that's 1,500 words long in this, guys. That's not long at all. So that's probably the most important point that I can actually give you, is don't make it too broad. You don't want a really, really open topic, even narrowing down. So I've mentioned World War II. You can't do the Battle of Britain. It's still too open, because again, there's massive books been written about that. You can't do Michael Collins. It's much, much too open. But you can do an event in Michael Collins' life if you were to do that. If you're talking about the Battle of Britain, you could talk about a pilot maybe that was involved in the Battle of Britain, something like that. Don't make study too narrow. Now, you do need to have it quite narrow, but not narrow to the point where it's almost impossible to get information on the topic you've picked. You want to have a topic that you can get information on, but that's not broad. You need to have 3 sources, guys. Okay, so that's 3 places where you get your information on whatever topic you pick. So after you pick your topic, you need to find 3 sources. One of them will have to be a book. Okay, a good way of doing that might be to look on Amazon, look at the reviews of different books, or I can help you with that if you want. You can look up YouTube documentaries, you can use podcasts, you can use interviews, use anything you want, guys. 3 different sources essentially. At least one of them has to be a book, or at least a section from a book. Okay, so pick books, chapters from books, websites that are manageable. Now you have to be mindful of the websites that you use. So take for example Wikipedia. Now whatever topic you pick, there'll probably be a Wikipedia page for it. You can't use Wikipedia, but if you go onto the Wikipedia page of the person, scroll right down to the bottom, they will give you links down there of other places where you can get information. You can use those. You can't use Wikipedia for obvious reasons. You know why it can be changed and so forth. Be careful using websites in particular, as information may not always be reliable. Just be mindful of the website you're using to get information on, guys. Wikipedia, for example, it can't be reliable. There's some other dodgy websites out there, and websites that just don't give much information or useful information. Avoid things that are directly covered by the curriculum. So if you take the example, okay, we've done Northern Ireland. You can't do the Sunnydale Agreement, okay, because you've covered the Sunnydale Agreement in detail in Northern Ireland. If you enjoyed the Troubles, which we've covered the Troubles, you can pick something on the Troubles. It just can't be something that we've covered in big detail. So you can do one of the people that was involved in the hunger strike, for example. You could do Bobby Sands' election, because we didn't really cover that in depth, but it can't be a topic you've covered in depth from the course. So we did the moon landing earlier on in the year. You can't do that. Montgomery bus boycott, you can't do that, but you can do something connected to that if you really want. But you can't do something that's directly covered a main topic within the curriculum. Be careful with topics relating to music or art or literature. Your focus must be historical information rather than evaluating the artistic merit. Now, I think there are bits you can pick. If you really, really love music and there's a certain band that you want to do, provided they were around before 1993, by all means you can. If you think it's historically significant, you can. So I have a student from 6th year this year who's doing, one's doing Black Sabbath and one is doing The Who. Now they're quite open, which has made it a little bit difficult for them, but that's their passion in music, so they've gone with that. Avoid serial killers or anything to do with drugs. Fairly self-explanatory for that, but in regards to what we did with a student a couple of years ago, I can't remember the name of the guy from Colombia, the drug baron. That was a TV show on Netflix about him last year. Just be careful about picking that, guys, okay? Okay, guys, so the process, we're on the long point down here. The process involves picking a topic. That's where we're at now, getting it approved by your teacher. So that's where we're at over this week. Then finding sources. Now, if you've picked your topic, you're happy with your topic, and I've given the go-ahead, look for sources. So that's 3 different places on where you'll get your information. Beyond that, then we're going to be working on that a lot. Essentially, we're going to be using those sources over the next coming weeks to get our information on it. And in 6th year, we start writing up the next part, which is your outline plan, taking notes, organizing your ideas, deciding on paragraphs, etc., etc. But I will help you on that. 4th last point, guys, do not plagiarize or take chunks. You're going to have to write up an essay on the topic you picked. You can't plagiarize. You can't take your whole topic from the book you've used. The book is there to help you, not to take everything from it. Don't procrastinate and leave it too late. So if you don't pick your topic in 5th year, it makes it trickier in 6th year. So essentially what I'm saying to you now is, guys, pick your topic now, get your sources done, have your sources fully read, everything good to go in 6th year, and you'll be flying it, okay? Read guidelines in SEC on choosing a topic for research topic. As I said, pretty much the only stipulation is it can't be any more recent than 1992. Any questions, guys, send me an email. As I said, if you have your topic picked, then look up sources, and again, you can message me about that if you want. I did speak to you before about some of the more interesting ones that I had. So I've had a few students over the last couple of years. I've got H1s, and I know Neera's brother was one. I can't remember what topic he had picked. It was from Japan, but anyway, some of the other good ones I've had over the years. I had a girl who also got a H1 who did hers on Violet Gibson, who's the Irish woman who shot Mussolini in the nose, had an assassination attempt on Mussolini, and spent most of her life in a mental asylum after that. That was a particularly interesting one. Another student got a H1 who did on the Munich air disaster, where most of the Man United team died in an air crash. I had a student do about Shergard, a racehorse. She loved horse racing. She picked Shergard, a racehorse that was captured and murdered by the IRA. I had someone did Walt Disney, about Walt Disney. There's plenty of interesting ones, guys, that I've gotten, and that's the key word here is interesting. Making it interesting, making it a topic that, say, if you were to give it to someone at home, once you're finished, you give it to someone at home, they'd read it and they think, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that. That's what your aim is from this. Okay, guys. I'll leave it at that for today. But come tomorrow's class, guys, I do want you to have a good, solid idea of what you're going to be picking and what source you're going to be using. Okay, thank you.